The US-Israel conflict with Iran has lasted 6 weeks. And President Trump's objectives have not been achieved. Iran remains highly resistant. And President Trump faces immense pressure, both internationally and domestically. So, should President Trump stop the war and declare victory? Or escalate it further? No. President Trump should not stop the war with Iran. There should be no ceasefire. No reconciliation. This war should only end when the Iranian regime collapses and the IRGC, Irish Revolutionary Guard Corps, is destroyed. If the Iranian regime remains in power and the IRGC continues to hold control, then in 5 to 10 years, the US and Israel will be threatened. The Gulf states will be unstable again. And anti-Semitic and anti-American sentiment will resurface. The US may see more bloody shootings by extremists. Israel will face more forces like Hamas, Hezbollah, Houthi, and possibly even more. There's a Vietnamese saying, to pull weeds, you must pull them out by the roots. Stopping the war with Iran at this point would be a grave mistake. And America would suffer unimaginable consequences in the future. I don't advocate for war or bloodshed. But once a war has started, it cannot be stopped halfway. The war will only end when that brutal regime is overthrown. So what should President Trump do? How should he do it? In my opinion, first, President Trump should, under the pretext of reopening the Strait of Hormuz, call on Gulf nations to convene their leaders to discuss disarmament solutions against Iran. At the same time, President Trump should send a message to all countries in the world, supporting the U.S. reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Except for Russia, the method of support involves sending troops, weapons and equipment, and providing financial support to help the U.S. open the Strait of Hormuz. Countries that remain outside the agreement will later face a 30% higher price for oil from Gulf countries when the U.S. opens the Strait of Hormuz, and their ships will have to pay a fee to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. A very unpleasant fee indeed. Secondly, they are calling for the purchase of weapons from the IRGC at high prices, and urging Iranian citizens to provide information on the hiding places of Iranian leaders and IRGC forces. Accurate information will be heavily rewarded. Thirdly, they are dividing the operational areas. Israel will launch airstrikes on Tehran, northern Iranian locations, and control the Caspian Sea. The U.S. will conduct airstrikes on Iranian islands in the Persian Gulf, focusing on Karg Island, Keshem Island, and other islands with military forces, while bombing military bases on the mainland and along the coast. President Trump secretly requested Vietnam to send special forces to assist. The terrain on Keshem Island and along the Persian Gulf coast of Iran was very suitable for the tactics and combat capabilities of Vietnamese special forces.